customer. So an example is whether you're a mobile customer or if you've identified yourself via explicit or implicit analytics and details, you as the marketer can enter into that environment as one of those customers and create the experience within that environment. And that's remarkable because, gone are the days of the approach that you take with a billboard where you try to deliver the single message for everybody. We're now allowing you to enter into that environment that your customer is in and create the message, create the content, create the experience within that environment. So those are a couple of the things that we're doing that I think is really revolutionizing the way that people manage their content and manage their customer experiences. But going back to the beginning, know your customer first, know what their needs are, and that's going to help you utilize the benefits of any of the products that are up here that you choose to be able to provide a great solution at the end of the day. Marketers and organizations to be able to deliver and target messages to those audiences that really need that. So finding that segment and delivering it appropriately. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the future driving this engagement to the smallest sectors possible. We talk a lot about big data, and big data is important, but I think the goal of big data is to minimize that down into the chunks that are most reasonable and effective for their constituents. So I think that's where the future is going. It's to utilize technology to bring that message to the smallest segment possible to have the biggest impact.
It's far more than just a platform. It's a strategy that goes into the whole equation. The five of us here represent in part software companies, but it goes beyond just the platform, the piece of software. It has to do with the whole approach that you take to understanding what your strategy needs to be, and that involves many parts of your organization. So I think you have to choose a platform, but you also have to work with an organization that can assist you in that strategy to assess what needs to be done to be successful.
Well, having spent
what he said, don't do RFPs, but if you have to, the question is, dear vendor, you know your solution much better than we ever will. Here's our situation, here's our scenario. How will you help make us successful? Let us tell you how our tool can best educate you and make yours successful based on the scenarios that you have, rather than just asking us a million questions about our tool.
And we've been using this phrase called building a segment of one, which was always a desire of marketers when they were using their content management systems, but it wasn't possible. And now solutions and tools like the ones represented here and others are giving marketers the power to say, how can I find my customers where they are with the message that they need to be delivered at the right time and give them that message. So I think that the future of content management is going to be for technology to empower marketers and organizations to be able to deliver and target messages to those audiences that really need that. So finding that segment and delivering it appropriately. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the future driving this engagement to the smallest sectors possible. We talk a lot about big data, and big data is important, but I think the goal of big data is to minimize that down into the chunks that are most reasonable and effective. You said, Tony, and how customers approach vendors, and not to give you the formula, but we often see customers coming to us and saying, this is what we need to do with our new product that we're looking for, and this is how it needs to be done. And they almost script out their new, their level of operations. I would suggest that you say, everything's up for change, and allow your practices and business practices and operational elements to change for the good based upon what a vendor can recommend. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Rather than bring a list of A, B's, and C's to an RFP, instead ask a vendor, what can you help us with based upon our scenario? And that gives the vendor the ability to let you best leverage their solution. So ask somebody how they can best utilize their tool to provide you an enhanced solution based upon what your business requirements